Welcome back to Vlogmas. I am doing the worst thing I've ever done on a custom set of headlights, and it's rewiring from the ground up. We're gonna talk all about that and how I'm doing it coming up. So I am doing this set of Porsche Cayenne headlights. We just did a very basic dip. I turned the chrome to black, that's awesome. And then just before I put them back together, I realized there's no way I'm shipping these things off as is because all of the wires inside are crumbling. Apparently, from a brief little bit of research, what I found out is that something in the EU and Europe was mandated where like the wire shielding, like the plastic that goes around all of the actual metal wire, changed to where it was supposed to be biodegradable. So it's like an environmental thing. Sweet. Problem is, now you've got wires that are all shorting out and touching each other, which could cause problems. It could cause things to melt, fire, whatever, bad stuff. This is insanity. I would never charge somebody to do this again based on the fact my time personally and the opportunity cost associated with it cost more than just getting a new set of lights. But I already started modifying these things and it was good content to show you and make a video out of it. I will say this, if you are working with an old BMW or a VW or anything European that the wires are crumbling, you very well could stand to benefit more from a fresh set of lights. It depends what your time is worth for you. I don't think that it's a sellable service to rewire these things. Okay, so forget about this part. What matters way more than all that stuff all gutted and me being very close to the end is the fact that in order to get from that point to back there, how that was set up, I had to take out a projector. This is actually what moves the projector left and right for the little AFS system inside. We've got a high beam. Now this is actually going to be masked off in the center so that it retains its reflectivity in there, but everything else is going to be painted black. And then we've got our high beam section here, or fog light, or whatever the heck this little section is. It's that little middle section there. And yeah, we've got the leveling motor, we've got all the different little things, a ton of different screws, bulbs. Literally took the lights down to bare essentials. When I put this thing back together with all the fresh wires inside, it's going to be a completely new light. The only thing that will be different is that we're changing the finish, all the chrome stuff to be black. Other than that, this was just like a full-on restoration job. Forget about customizing. Restoration is not a profitable situation with lighting. Okay, so I'm gonna continue. It looks like I've got about a handful of wires left that haven't been cut. The idea is this, I'm clipping off the wires one by one, and because there's all this corrosion on here, I'm only using the absolute base of the wire itself. Coating it with flux, which gets the solder to go stick inside of all the strands. And then I'm heating it with an extra hot soldering iron as opposed to my typical Weller right there that doesn't get nearly as hot. Oh, that's Weller too. Weller, sponsor me. These have to be clipped. After they're clipped and fluxed and resoldered at about an inch long, maybe less than that, then I'm taking some high temp wire that I'm running. This is all 20 gauge, and I'm running that through to replace all the 20 gauge stuff. A lot of places in the world where you could have somebody sit there for hours and hours and hours, 20, 40 plus hours and rewire headlights. Southern California is probably not one of those places. Fixing problems for people is so not profitable, and in the best case scenario, you make enough money to break even on your time as a builder, and the person has what they had before. Like, that sucks. Like, hey dude, I'm glad you spent $1,000. Too bad now you have what you had before, and like it should last longer now. That doesn't feel good as something that you want to sell. Maybe if it's like, I don't know, somebody's vehicle that gets them to work and you're like, here you go, now you can drive because your engine works again and it didn't before. That's different than like your thing that looked fine but it actually wasn't fine. It'd be like if you got a flat tire. You're like, my car was dope, I was driving and now the tire's flat, I can't use it. That's what it's like to find out that you have to replace something inside of your lights because it's broken and you just put it back to stock. Screw that, screw that. I'm learning. I got podcast stuff in my ears. I'm working my way through. I have 2 wires left. I am pumped to finish. This was, I want to say about 5-ish hours so far. About to reassemble everything, get it put back together, show you the end result, and I'm ready to start the second one. Well, that was pretty intense. I mean, I literally dedicated a whole day just to working on these lights, and I could tell you this is I'm trying to get a lot done right before Christmas and fit it all in, and I'm about to work 5 different days in a row that are 11 to 12 hour days, and I'm gonna need every bit of that because I got GTR lights to finish, I got those Porsche lights to finish, the taillight stuff that I've been filming for the Sequential 301 class. Pretty wild stuff. And I have no idea how I'm gonna do it. I have no clue. All right, so something super important. I want this video to be an answer specifically for people that have asked, hey, can you fix my lights? Can you fix my projector? This other guy built my lights. Now this and that's happening. Can you fix it? I want this video to be the reason that you understand why the reason that I say no is a solid no. Most of the time what it comes down to is just money. It's just not something that scales. So if I'm gonna take apart a set of lights from scratch, I got the brand new WRX lights that's going out for our big quote video. That is something where I started from scratch. I put all these cool things in there. I got the panels that we got from Sinister Retro Works. We got brackets from CB&D, and then we also got a ton of cool stuff coming in from Lightworks. Those are all brand new parts. There's nothing wrong that I have to undo. There's nothing that I have to fix. I get to start fresh, take everything apart, and put everything back together the way that I want them to be. So this is like a blank canvas. So it's kind of like if you were to go to a body shop and be like, hey, I've got this terrible peeling paint job. Can you repaint my car and get it absolutely perfect? Versus if you brought them a car that was primed and ready to go already. The fresh builds are primed and ready to go. The messed up or botched build, for my builders out there, I know you guys are watching, and I just want to give a huge shout out to the guys that fix other people's stuff, especially when it involves cutting and like gluing things back on, and like, oof, it gets really, really nasty. I don't even like working on stuff that I built previously. Taking something all the way apart and putting it back together that I built, that sucks. Doing any kind of restoration job, working on lenses that are scratched or cleaning up the insides. We're gonna do a little video where I try to restore the insides of those Sorrento lenses on my wife's Kia. I think that's gonna be cool just to see what happens, but it's not something I would ever take on from a customer, because what they get for the money that they're paying to have a light fixed versus what you would get if you were starting from scratch, it's just a game of time, right? So those hours getting pumped into making things cool and new is awesome. Those hours pumped into fixing something old and crusty and then making it just normal, like, it's the same time, so it's gotta cost the same money. I would always recommend this. If you've got a set of lights and they're messed up, don't find a guy to fix them for you. Look at what the cost of replacing those lights is. If any of this stuff was of help for you, if you're watching, if you're thinking about getting into retrofitting or just doing cool LED stuff, and you're thinking, hey, maybe I could fix people's lights up, and if they've got problems, I could be the guy that solves that problem for them. Let me know if this has swayed your idea of how you should take on certain jobs, or The harder thing, let me know if this has helped you decide that there's certain jobs that you're gonna turn away, because unfortunately, that's a very necessary thing if you're gonna try to make any money with this stuff. So if this video helped at all, smash the like button for me, let me know it helped. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and I will see you on Vlogmas tomorrow.